Marvel Snap is a young game and there's a ton of room for design. Really cool stuff that we've probably never thought of before. I went to the subreddit Custom Marvel Snap and I picked some of these out. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. The first one here is Spymaster. This is a 0-2 where on reveal next turn you lose 1 energy. This is really cool because it's essentially a 1 energy minion. You just end up doing it before, kind of similar to Overload in Hearthstone, I guess. Probably not going to play this on 1. This is probably a card you play on the last turn where energy doesn't matter. I really like the flexibility of this. I personally have been using Yellow Jacket a decent amount because you could just play it before you play your other minions, right? It has to be on an empty lane so you don't hit your other minions. But Spymaster, pretty cool. You could just throw this down on the last turn. Or if you expect your opponent to maybe do like a wave or play a Sandman, maybe just throw it down on that turn before that happens. But overall, I think this is a really cool design. Thanks to Powder Keg for making this. This is awesome. Next card we have is the Incredible Hulk. This is 6 energy, 12 power. And at the end of your game, you explain to your opponent why their deck makes no sense and show them how they won through sheer luck. This was also made by Powder Keg, and it's just this is funny. There's no real point to this. All right, so this is posted by Mastermiine, and this is actually a DC sort of package, which would obviously never happen, right? I don't think that happens. But I thought this was a really cool concept, so let's go ahead and look at Batman here, a 2/2 ongoing. See what cards are in your opponent's deck. Now this is reminiscent of Daredevil, but obviously way better. This would just be an OP card. I think everyone would run this. It gives you way too much information. Information in Snap is super important. Being able to use even a cable to see your opponent's game plan, that could be telling if you pull a core card like a Devil Dinosaur, using a White Queen to guess what they're going to play on 6. Now Batman would show you what's in your opponent's deck. This is weird because they'd have to implement a UI for this, but the cool part is you see what's in their deck, not what's in their hand. So you'd still have to guess what's in their hand, right? So maybe you look at their deck and you see like an Odin and a Wong, and then you know, all right, they're an on-reveal deck, something like that. Really cool card. I think it'd just be way too busted. Let's look at the next one. We got Superman here, a 4/10. You can't play this on turn 6, and the on-reveal is add a Kryptonite card to your opponent's hand. Ongoing, if Kryptonite is played at this location, remove this card from the game. Kind of similar to Black Widow, where when you play this, it puts something in your opponent's hand, and if they end up playing that out, then it will destroy Superman. So I looked through the comments, and Mastermind said that Kryptonite would be a 0-cost card. So your opponent would be very easily able to destroy this. So it seems like what you would want to do is make their hand full, maybe through like a Maximus, and then play the Superman, which would be difficult because Maximus is 3. Or maybe try and lock up your opponent's board so they can't really play anything, where if they want to play the Kryptonite, then it's you know, punishing because they don't have much board space. Or maybe make the Kryptonite even like negative power, because using 4 energy to give them a 0 energy Kryptonite, and then they just destroy your turn, that would kind of suck. So this card's actually interesting. I like this design quite a bit. Very cool. We got the Flash at a 1 energy, 2 power. With ongoing, your cards are always revealed first. Their on-reveal abilities happen first. This is interesting. We got Ghost coming out, which isn't out yet, which here's Ghost. Your other cards are always revealed last. So kind of the opposite, where these on-reveals happen first. Now, this could be beneficial, especially if you expect your opponent to maybe play a Cosmo in the lane that you're playing a minion in. Being able to go first if you're losing and would normally go second could be very good, right? Getting that, I don't know, Black Panther off, that Arnim Zola, if you're expecting them to just ruin your lane, ruin your game plan. I generally feel like you want to reveal second most of the time. Like with Shang-Chi, you want your opponent to reveal and then you Shang their big minion. But there's probably some situations that I'm not thinking about that you want to reveal first, and the flavor of this card is just so cool. All right, we got Cat Women here, a 4/5, where on reveal you steal the highest costed card from your opponent's hand. This seems busted. Kind of reminds me of Black Bolt, where you discard the lowest cost card from your opponent's hand, which is generally not too good unless you end up hitting death. But stealing the highest cost card is incredibly powerful because you might get rid of their whole game plan, their big, powerful turn 6 play. Maybe you also steal their death, or like a She-Hulk, like an Odin, a Doctor Doom, an Arnim Zola, all these big, powerful cards that you build your deck around, Catwoman just yoinks them all. I think this card would see a ton of play, and I think you would need to lower the power on this card, or maybe make it a 5 energy. A really cool concept, but I don't personally like stealing cards from opponents. Been coming from that in Hearthstone, it's very frustrating. And targeted steals is worse. Random steal, okay. Still frustrating, but targeted? This would be a really annoying card. We got the Joker at a 3/3 with on reveal, destroy 3 random cards. This one's really cool also. Now it seems like it could destroy your own minions. I'm assuming if you're running Joker in a deck, you would not really play things. You just let your opponent play 3 things and then you use the Joker. Now I think this is also just way too powerful. You can even put this at 6 energy, 3 power, and it would probably still see play. A really cool design, just destroying 3 random cards. Also, probably another frustrating design that people wouldn't like playing in the long run, but something fun and feels very Jokerish. Got Harley Quinn at a 2/5 here. At the end of the game, destroy 2 random cards. Now, these keep saying random cards, not your cards, so it could be your opponent's, it could be yours. 2/5 is very strong, but again, this effect could be rough. Now, all these DC cards are made from the same person, Mastermiine, and it seems like Mastermiine really likes destroying random cards. So we see a running theme here, and she does have, similar concept to Joker, which makes sense thematically. But yeah, super strong stat line. I feel like this would be played a lot, and if you wanted, I guess you could even 0 this so you don't possibly destroy your own minions. 2/5, I think that's one of the strongest 2-drops. Cool design. We got Wonder Woman here at a 6/4 with on reveal, pull the highest enemy power card to your side of this location. Kind of like a Doctor Strange, but pulling your opponent's minion. Pretty cool. Could definitely just win you the game. Like sometimes with Arrow, you're just stealing their whole play, right? But with Wonder Woman, you're stealing their strongest minion. So if they make a colossal minion on one lane and they're winning it, they feel confident. Maybe they got an Infinite out. Just yoink it to a different lane, and you might win. You might win the lane that they felt very confident that they were going to win, right? Just ruining that last turn for them. Really cool design here. I do like movement. I want to see more movement cards. I think something like a Heimdall that moves right would be kind of cool. I think the fact that Snap has 3 lanes is something they can really play around with. So that movement stuff is just really enjoyable. But could also be frustrating. I feel like a lot of these cards, it's just like, that seems like fun, but it might be not so fun in the long run, kind of like Leader. We got Invisible Plane, a 4/0. Ongoing +2 power for each card from DC Universe you control. This is a cool concept that I think they could even implement to like Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. Like all the Guardians of the Galaxy cards are kind of meh unless you hit their on reveal, which you just have to be a mind reader in order to do that. So being able to implement this into a Guardians of the Galaxy thing, I think would be super cool. Like a 4/0 +2 for each Guardian of the Galaxy character. And then you play Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord and Groot, Gamora and Drax. And then this just becomes a big powerhouse. Maybe even making it like a 6 energy, 3 power. But anyways, back to Invisible Plane. Really cool concept. I absolutely love this. And I think something like this should be implemented to Snap. Or we got the Condiment King, a 3/1 here. On reveal, change each location. They don't reveal until the game ends. This would just be a clown fiesta. This might be fun, but also another thing that might be a bit frustrating. Or not seeing the locations, it freaks me out. I don't like playing on things where I don't know the locations generally. Sometimes I chance it, then you end up getting, a bar with no name, and then you just lose the game. Or you end up playing a lot of ongoings, and then they end up getting silenced, and maybe you play just a small minion and it's ends up being Space Throne or whatever, the one that can only have 1 minion. So this would be interesting. I do think we need more location disruption. Maybe this isn't the way to go, but this would be interesting for sure. All right, this one is from samFamDesigner. It's Chun-Li. It's a 4/2 with the ongoing when a card moves here. Oh, my cat just hit my mouse. When a card moves here, send it back. So that's kind of like play Chun-Li, follow up with Arrow. You basically just get rid of their whole game plan. Seems like a busted card, but a cool effect. Maybe a little too powerful. Maybe you end up making this a 4/0 even, but then you have problems with Mr. Negative, making this too good. Maybe even switch this to like an on reveal. Like if a card moves here this turn, send it back. That would be a cool way to shake it up. Maybe make it a little bit less OP, because yeah, doing this into a arrow, into just any other card, maybe you duplicate your arrow somehow, like or this into arrow into absorbing man is just, it's game winning. So cool design. I think it'd be a little bit too OP. We got chance over here, a 3/2, where when a player snaps, +3 power. This is cool. Ends up being a 3/5 if someone snaps. I assume you're gonna want to throw this out and snap, so it's a 3/5. And based on the text, I think if you had snapped beforehand, maybe you both snap, this ends up being a 3/8, right? It's gonna be a 3/8 if you both snap, and then you play this on 3. That's a really big card. I think the biggest 3 drop right now, it's Maximus at 3/7. Is that right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm forgetting some card. But yeah, chance would be incredibly good. I think being able to mess around with snaps is something I never thought of before. So that's a cool direction to go. Cool card from Quillbolt here. The Amazing Mary Jane, a 2/3 with ongoing. If you're losing this location, you can move another card here once. 2/3 is completely fine stats, and this effect is really cool actually. It can only happen once, even though it's ongoing, so your opponent never knows when you're actually going to do it. But really cool thematics where you just end up like saving her, right? You could play her in one lane, play a big card in a different lane, and then at the last turn you just move it over. Kind of reminds me of New York, which is you never know how to play around New York. It's a really fun location. Very strong card. Also, like really big mind games. You could just not end up moving anything anyway, and you kind of just bait your opponent. Really cool. All right, here we have a custom location made by Dekkster the Swede. This is called Wall Street, and when you play a card here, you set its power equal to its cost. I think the design here is really cool. It's very thematic, right? It would be a really, really fun, like hot location or featured location. It would totally disrupt the meta. This could be, yeah, just as like disrupting as Lamentis, which I think was a good time. But you would end up playing cards that cost a lot but have low power relative to the cost. Something like Ironheart, some like Iron Man would just win Wall Street. Really cool custom location. This one's also by Dekkster the Swede. This one is called Lost Cosmic Cube. Whoever wins this location wins this cube. Ties give nothing. So basically, while you're trying to win the game and, you know, win those cubes, you also just could win this location. An additional cube on top of everything. If your game ends up just being for 2 cubes, you also win this location, you get 3. Or maybe you win that location, but you lose the game, so instead of losing 2, you only lose 1. Other than that, the location doesn't seem to add anything. And I think that's a pretty cool design, something I never thought about. Kind of a way to make you, I guess, make your loss less upsetting. You make sure you win this lane. Maybe you lose the other lanes, lose the game, but you get that 1 cube back, so pretty cool. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna go over for now. Let me know if you guys did enjoy this. Feel free to submit more things to Custom Marvel Snap. It's a really cool subreddit. Also, if you want to, my Discord, I just created a custom cards section. No one has posted there yet because I just made it. And if this video does all right, then maybe I'll keep doing more. I do think there's a lot of room for creative minds to make cool custom cards. There's just limitless possibilities, you know, just putting other themes into here. Like here we had the DC theme, maybe even putting stuff like, I don't know, League of Legends stuff in here, Overwatch cards, all that stuff could be really cool. Hope you guys enjoy. Good luck on ladder and stay hydrated.